Slack channel.
I feel like we're just behind the curtain. It's a weird spot to be, man.
I know, but it's a cool little like pre-production tease, right? People can hear us, but they can't see us because we haven't started, but we're here doing our pre-draft preparations.
I think it's got to be weird for the people that watch it on YouTube after.
Oh, yeah, sitting here like, okay, when are you guys going to show up?
What exactly is this? Thanks for pushing play, though. We'll be giving you wonderful football discussion here momentarily.
Would you assume this is the worst Monday Night Football game of the year?
Yeah, it's hard to argue against that. I think you have the worst two offenses in the league.
They're the least two efficient offenses since week 3. I know that for a fact. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't incorrectly teasing.
Well, so what do you think the NFL was thinking when this was the game? Like the Jets, they were hot at the end of the year. It's year 2 of Gase. Darnold's an up-and-coming
divisional rivalry.
It's the Patriots, so they should be reasonably okay. And they got the worst case scenario: 2-5 and 0-8.
It's not
with backup quarterback for the 0-8 team.
Before we push play, I need to get a beverage out of the fridge. Is that okay?
Nobody wouldn't even know. Nobody can see.
I know, but I'm gonna have to stand up, and you're gonna see me leave and take my headphones off, and you're gonna wonder where I went.
I cannot see you. That's one thing.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
Down here in the bottom right.
Yep.
Or in the bottom left.
You cannot see you.
Oh, that's now you knew who's running the production here, folks. It's me.
So blame everything on Kyle. It's never my fault. What's up? It's just me. Kyle will be here in 30 seconds, I think. Charlie Gross, my dude. Bill's Mafia is in the house. Jared, Panthers fan Jared. Sorry about that long field goal attempt. We got the Indy Kid, Sports Nut. We got 2 Panthers fans. Bill Butler's Giants guy. Rootful. No idea the rooting interest there, but glad to have you. Jack, what's up? Hello. Mitchell, welcome.
Hello.
Just saying hello to everyone in the chat, man.
Everybody's ready?
Yeah, we need takes. It's takes on takes.
Yeah, send your hot takes in ASAP.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's get this sick intro. By the way, new Draft Dudes theme song?
I don't even know it.
No, I'm saying it's the music that's with this video. I have the song, courtesy of our people.
Beautiful.
So let's roll tide. Yeah, takes on takes. Let's get after it.
What's up?
We are here Monday night, pre-gaming Monday Night Football. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino, the Draft Dudes. And before we start, friendly reminder that all of our live streams here on the Draft Network on YouTube are brought to you by our friends at Mighty Swell, the new and terrific adult seltzer beverage on the market. So if you're into hanging loose, if you're somewhere warm, I mean, I haven't had one by the fireplace yet, but you typically associate these things for like down at the beach or whatever. I'd be willing to bet they're pretty nice curled up on the couch for a football night too.
For sure. Ready to do some Draft Dudes takes on takes? Here we go. Ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll address this situation when we're
right. Make people wish they were here.
Correct.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes here on the Draft Dudes podcast presented by Locked On. It's Joe Marino and Krabs from the Draft Network, and we are your hosts here on this live episode of Takes on Takes, live on a Monday night. We're in your podcast feed on a Tuesday. This episode is brought to you by Pepsi. This football season will be different, and Pepsi is there to get you ready for game day no matter how you watch this season. Pepsi is the refreshment you need to power through game day and become a member of the League of Football Watchers. These passionate fans are the real generational that Pepsi fuels, because Pepsi isn't made for those who play the game. Kyle, who's it made for?
It's made for those who watch it.
Yep. Pepsi made for football watching. What's up, Kyle? You have a handlebar mustache, and we need to know what's going on there.
I do. So I made the handlebar mustache to torment my wife. Just randomly I knew I needed to shave, and she hates facial hair of all kinds. So I said, okay, I'm going to pick the most obnoxious possible thing that I could leave. And it happened to be the handlebar mustache. And then lo and behold, the Dolphins won whilst I was sporting the handlebar mustache. So now I can't get rid of it until they lose. So we're just kind of rolling with it for the time being.
Why on earth would you try to torment your wife who is 8 months plus pregnant? Can you explain that? I'm sure there's a lot of people that wonder, like, Kyle, Mrs. Krabs, a wonderful lady married to this guy.
She certainly is, but it's always an adventure in our house. So I got to keep her on her toes. She keeps me on my toes. And this is just one of those deals, unfortunately.
We have our AFC East swag as promised on.
Yes.
Kyle what is this jacket?
This is a 1985 Super Bowl 19. Yep, Super Bowl 19 jacket for the Dolphins from when they played the 49ers.
I have a Jim Kelly jersey on, a Bills hat, and a prop. I have a new prop to introduce. You guys know about the approval maraca. That's still here. But there's another prop. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm not going to force it. It needs to make sense.
Oh, man. You're going to hold this thing out.
Yeah. Well, the takes need to match up with the release of the new prop. I'm looking at it right here. It's good. I'll give you one hint. It's the opposite of the approval maraca.
Oh, so it's bad takes will be met with this apparatus.
Oh yeah. So give us your honest bad takes, and you'll see this prop. All right. Yep. Shall we?
Yes. I'm scrolling through the comments. I know you don't read them. So do you have anything loaded?
I do, but I don't have it handy. And give me literally
that's fine.
I had it.
It's too bad. One. We'll take this one from this is the Sports Nut, right?
The Sports Nut, yeah.
Javonte Williams will not foul out of round 2 and needs to be added to the mock draft machine. Hey, guess what? Whilst in between Joe's preview and me bringing this question up, I made a player profile for Javonte Williams and put him in the draft simulator.
Bada bing.
So taken care of.
We talked about this in our 45-minute pre-show this morning, I think.
We did.
Because we needed RB3 and 4 and 5 to figure out who that is, and it might be Williams, right?
Yeah. He's got 700 yards and 14 touchdowns. And
can't be tackled. He catches the ball 5'10", 220. Tough to bring down. I mean,
lot to like.
He's more than just
the guy that has a lot to not like at running back.
And he's more than just the guy that you look at as a mid-round running back that can be serviceable, right? We look for these players like he's got more than that. So I think this is a really good take. Approval maraca. Yeah. Here's one of mine from the bullpen here. Jake Stillwell says Jim Harbaugh will be coaching in the NFC East next season.
How many job openings are going to be in the NFC East? 1?
I would put the over-under at 0.5.
Really? That low?
Well, Philly's not firing
Doug. No.
Doug. You got 2 first-year coaches in Rivera and Judge.
And
you're counting on McCarthy being one and done.
Judge has a decent chance, I think.
If Gettleman goes, he has a decent chance.
Yeah. I'm going to take the field.
Yeah, I'd say
take the Joe Marino way out. I'm just going to say I'm going to take the field.
Yeah, this isn't going to get the prop to be coming out, but I don't agree with this. I don't think it'll happen.
Oh man,
I've got another good one from the hopper if you need it.
No, I got one right here from Indy Kid. Very clearly a Notre Dame guy. Wait, what's this? His avatar is Fighting Irish, Indianapolis Colts, and he snuck the Atlanta Falcons in there somehow.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Unless that's the logo of whatever this is. This a Pee Wee team or something? High school?
No. But you got to explain yourself.
For real.
We need context here. His take is everyone on Notre Dame's current offensive line has a successful 8+ year NFL career. I can see a pathway to that, but that would be the ultimate statistical anomaly in the grand scheme of life in the NFL, right?
Right. Remember I did that article about first round offensive linemen, like over the last 20 years. And like we always say that they're decade starters and stuff.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just not. So I think, man, this is close to prop worthy because I think this is really aggressive and unlikely. It's going to be this is prop worthy. You ready for here it is. Here it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's the poop hat.
Yeah, it's the poop emoji hat. Yeah. So you don't want this to come out on your takes. Let me just tell you that. Let me tell you.
I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, but it lights up too.
Yeah, right. So if your take's bad enough, you get this.
So I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, but you look like, the talking hat.
I learned about this recently. My wife told me about it. It's not called the talking hat. It has a very
right. It's something of something or whatever. But it's like you put the hat on, it tells you what branch of the school of wizardry you go to. This is like we need to find out the formal name. So help us out in the comments, and then we'll do a spinoff for this hat, and you can tell people classified how bad their take is.
If my daughter wasn't sleeping in the room next to this one, I'd literally go, "Hey, what's that thing called?"
Oh, she would know, huh?
We literally just had this conversation. I've never seen Harry Potter, but she told me about this. All right. The sorting hat. There it is. The sorting hat.
Sorting hat. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew Blake, Bill Butler, for telling us. All right. I want to go back to my bullpen.
Go ahead, because there's lots of Dolphins takes in the comments.
Yeah,
and
Dolphins.
As tempting as that is, let's spread the love.
Okay, this one's really interesting. From Dion, from Twitter. He says Hugh Freeze is the top coaching candidate right now and will be hired by a Power 5 school next season.
Put the hat back on.
Are you kidding me?
Put the hat back on.
You think this is a bad take? He's got Liberty humming.
Luke Fickell.
Okay, they're the top two. They're the top two. You're acting like I should put the poop emoji hat back on for this when it's a top 2 candidate right now.
He's a top 5 candidate.
He's getting a Power 5 job. He's got Liberty humming.
He will get a Power 5 job. Indy kid redeemed himself. Kyron Williams, Notre Dame running back, first running back off the board in 2022. Dude looks like a stud right now.
Yeah,
we have some
the tight end, the safety they got.
Yes, Kyle Hamilton, the tight end who's a true freshman this year. They got a lot of exciting talent there at Notre Dame, and tip of the cap for them to knocking off Clemson.
All right,
redemption. Rahul, spicy take from Rahul. If Andrew Luck had not retired, the Colts would be the Super Bowl favorite this season. You buying or selling this?
Favorite? I mean, the Chiefs are still here, right?
The Super Bowl favorite.
You know how I am about tiers, and I think that there's teams that are likely to win the Super Bowl, right? Should they be in that bucket? Yes. Am I going to say undisputed, this is the front runners of the league? We expect them to win the Super Bowl? No. But in that Chiefs tier, yeah.
Yeah, really good team. And Andrew Luck, I think we would agree, a healthy Andrew Luck is a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers at this point. Would certainly help their case. I think it would make them the favorites in the AFC South by 1,000,000%.
I'd be really excited to see Frank Reich with this much time with Luck, just kind of really developing that volume of plays and how they, getting to know each other and what he would look like right now with the talent that Chris Ballard's assembled.
This is a spicy take from Jahoni to share.
Right. Yeah. Let me read this to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Kyle Pitts, the Florida player, should be seen as wide receiver 2 in this draft, not a tight end.
I agree with this. He's what? 6'5", 6'6", 235, 240.
I mean, he doesn't play tight end.
He doesn't play like a tight end. He doesn't offer you traditional tight end roles. I think he's explosive enough that you could legitimately put him outside. You could put him as a traditional X. What's he going to run? He can run the 4.4 high 4.4s.
That was funny to me. People asked me about Kyle Pitts this weekend on Twitter, and talking about how high he could go in the draft. And some people said, like, how much is that going to depend on his testing? And my response was, I've never watched Kyle Pitts play football and had one question about his athletic profile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I if he doesn't test well, I think we'd have questions. But I mean, from a functional athleticism perspective that we see on tape, I just don't have any concerns whatsoever. I want to pull up. I have Kyle Pitts right here. See how many actual snaps he's played. Okay, so he's played 252 snaps this year. To his credit, 172 of those are as an inline tight end, 41 at slot, and 30 at receiver. So he's lining up in line a little bit more than I thought.
But is that where his value is?
No, I want to move him around.
Is that where you forecast him to the next level? Because that's the bigger challenge, right? Yeah, you think about what's the closest player to this that we've seen in recent years? Noah Fant?
Well, in the draft,
yes.
Maybe. I would say Darren Waller in the NFL.
Yes, in the NFL, but from like a draft profile.
No, yeah, upper echelon talent. Yeah, I'd say Fant. I mean, Fant seems bigger, like shorter and bigger, not as long. A little more.
He's more
lengthy.
dense.
Yeah.
He's a little more dense. But that's what makes me say, like, you look at where Fant has had success when he's healthy, and then you think about Kyle Pitts, and like, I want this guy lining up at X every now and again. You can move him all around. You can line him up in the slot, whatever. I would classify and covet him as a wide receiver, not as a tight end.
I got to give you this next one from the bullpen. Good friend Cameron Spencer. The better comp for Zach Wilson, the BYU quarterback, stylistically isn't Johnny Manziel.
Okay.
It's Kyler Murray. You're fresh off of really looking at both of these players,
Pain in the ass Kyler is to defend. Holy cow. No, I think you get a lot more design run with Kyler. And I think Kyler is exponentially more explosive than any quarterback I've seen this side of Michael Vick as a runner. Well, Lamar's in there too, but I'm selling. From who?
This one from Liam at 7:43 p.m. Liam Johnson.
43.
Yeah.
Liam trying to blow up the chat here.
Yeah, he's got like a purple emoji.
Oh. Oh. This is what Takes on Takes is all about.
There's layers to a very simple statement here.
Liam states Daniel Jones will never win another game as a starting quarterback. Law of averages says this can't be true, but if you're going to sell on the Giants losing or winning any games the rest of the season, and they finish 2-14, they will be in a position to draft another quarterback.
Let's find the win this year, right? He's got the rest of this year. They're not playing.
No, they don't have Washington on the schedule anymore, so they're done.
So they have Eagles, at Bengals, at Seahawks, Cardinals, Browns, at Ravens, Cowboys. There's no like sirens going off on any of those. Maybe Bengals, but it's on the road.
They'll win that Cowboys game
in week 17.
That Dallas team is so downtrodden. They're just going to be happy to reach the end of the rainbow.
Here's the point here, Kyle. We're thinking about this.
Yeah, it's a legitimate
question.
We're
not absolutely if he's going to do it.
Even if he gets bounced after 2 years, he's going to go somewhere. He'll probably end up being a backup. He's going to get another opportunity somewhere down the line to start. And law of averages says he will win a game. I refuse to believe this is true, but it's a very compelling case that you could make, considering after winning his first start against Tampa, he's only ever beat Washington. 0-17.
I think
with every other game,
he'll find another win at some point in his life, but it's something we have to pause and think about.
Spectacular.
I like this one from Mitchell.
Not like it.
Which one was Liam's? I don't remember.
The one we just did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Which one did you like?
Oh, and so Bill is a Giants fan.
Correct.
So
he said in the pre-show, he said, be ready for 10 Giants takes today.
I liked Mitchell's. No, he had a couple. The one I liked was about Ryan Day, 745.
Okay. See, I'm super proud of you for checking the comments.
I'm
Mitchell,
trying to do better. Yeah.
I would take Ryan Day over any other candidate for an NFL head coaching job.
What do you think about that, Kyle? You've done more work on Ohio State than I have. I've done a good amount. I'm familiar with Day. I like his style, but when you start placing him into the NFL, what do you like? What don't you like?
I mean, obviously the concern is Ohio State plays this wide open brand of offense, and there's translation there with, how much of the offensive playbook carries over. They're getting away with having elite defensive talent every single year. It's really hard for me with Ryan Day's, his second year as the head coach, third year as the head coach. Second full time, and he had some time, I think, when Urban Meyer had a suspension, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to get a gauge on who Ryan Day is when they are so supremely more talented than every other team that they're going to face on the schedule.
So the root of his take, I mean, I think it's interesting to discuss Ryan Day's prospects as an NFL head coach, but Mitchell went so far as to say that he would take Day over any other candidate. We're talking Eric Bieniemy, who's a hot name. Brian Dable's a hot name. The Robert Saleh's a hot name. Who else?
Adam Gase could be on the market.
Wouldn't be a podcast.
Is Ryan Day even the most high profile or
desirable
attractive college coach? Lincoln Riley.
I don't know. I've never been super
in love with Lincoln.
Yeah, no, or any college to pro guy.
Hey man, Cliff's got himself a hell of a program running. I'll say that. You'll find out this week.
Yeah, I watched Cliff have a chance to hand the Dolphins at least a tied opportunity late in the game, and him be satisfied with a 50-yard attempt and take the ball out of the number 1 overall pick's hands.
They got a good football team.
Let me just tell you how happy I am with Cliff.
They got a good football team.
Some people just want us to fight. Do you notice that by what they put in here?
Of course. Yeah. Paige DeMacco said if we get to week 17 and it's for all the marbles, she's going to find a local bar in Buffalo and a sponsor and fly us up and lock us in a bar for a day.
You don't want that, dude.
No, you'd have to protect me.
I think you and I have, I think I can speak for myself. I've done a nice job of playing nice Dolphins, going in before they're 5-3. I've played nice.
Yeah. You've had a lot of good things to say about what they're doing.
Because I've
been nice too.
What am I going to criticize? We put out a tweet from the Draft Network's account today that said, Tua silence the haters. And I'm like, who hates Tua? Who in the world hates Tua?
You must have missed the last week of every national television show in the history of mankind. We got Colin Cowherd decided after
because I don't watch those shows.
Being all about Tua Tagovailoa for 3 years, all of a sudden, 3 days before his first start, he has the revelation. Tua's not going to work. I'm telling you right now. He's small, no wiggle. He's not explosive. That doesn't work. Tua Tagovailoa is not going to work in the NFL. And he literally, you go back for any other sound clip, and it's like Tua Tagovailoa is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. The efficiency is unbelievable. First Take. Skip Bayless is now the biggest Tua Tagovailoa hater in the history of mankind. They're showing the highlights, and Shannon Sharp's smashing Skip Bayless's face into the mud, putting him in his place because Skip doesn't know what he's talking about. And Skip's in the background. Oh yeah, is that throw in slow motion? He's got a lot of really nice loft on his throws. He's saying he doesn't have a strong arm. I get welcome to relevancy, right?
The Rams game was never the game to evaluate Tua. It was never the game. And my goodness, it's his first damn game. I don't care if he went 1 for 25 and threw 7 interceptions. It wasn't the book on Tua.
Well,
I mean, why are we getting worse at analyzing football? We have more information than ever, and we're getting worse at this.
All you had to do was watch the game, and you would know the Dolphins legitimately said, we're not going to let Aaron Donald ruin the day for us. So we're going to play it super close to the vest. We don't have the guys to block him one-on-one. We're going to slide, protect, and block Aaron Donald with 4 players in some instances. And we're just not going to let Aaron Donald ruin our day.
Cam Van Wyck at 754. Put it up there. This is fun.
Travis Etienne on the Dolphins would be a first-round fantasy pick.
So Clyde Edwards-Helaire to the Chiefs was a mid-round, first-round fantasy pick. Etienne and the Dolphins, pick him in the first round? That's a statement. You're saying this is a big part of our offense.
Myles Gaskin gets a lot of volume. And if you can replace Myles Gaskin
in the first round, Gaskin ain't going to be part of it.
Right, but I'm saying there's a role in the Dolphins offense for a very high volume running back. And if you take a player like Myles Gaskin and you replace him with a player who is explosive and has home run hitting ability and can break a tackle when he's contacted in the hole, all of which Travis Etienne is applicable to. So if you take the market share of the Dolphins offense and transition it from Myles Gaskin to Travis Etienne, there is a lot of potential there from a fantasy value.
Did you see what Ben just put in here?
We're going to get to him in a second. I don't want to miss this one.
Okay.
Brian, the Arizona Cardinals are the 2000s Phoenix Suns of the NFL. This was the what? Mike D'Antoni? That's the coach. I always mix him and
it's Nash and Stoudemire on that team.
Amari Stoudemire. Yeah. Exciting, fast-paced, good regular season team that will never have postseason success. What do you think?
I love that take. I love it. They're road dogs this week against Arizona. That game, that line came out +2 Buffalo. Yeah.
Wow.
I love that take.
What did you say from who put what in here now?
Ben Solak, 755. Dolphins are going throwbacks next week.
Correct. They're wearing the throwbacks against the Chargers.
Dub. Imagine losing in those. I think I want to go back. Travis Etienne, if he goes in first round to the Dolphins, for fantasy purposes, his average draft position will be somewhere between 7 and 10.
I was going to say 8 and 10.
Yeah. So he would be a first round fantasy pick.
Correct.
We both agree. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh, we got a non-football take from Daniel. Ballpark and stadium mustard is the only acceptable hot dog condiment.
I agree. The spirit of this says to me that you don't like to put ketchup on hot dogs, and I am all in on that. But we're talking about, you're no chili, no cheese, no onions. No onions for sure. But you talk about a Chicago dog, you're not going to put those whatever those peppers are that go on them. The tomato.
Oh, the comments are very angry with this take.
It's a bad take. I agree.
Kyle said, I don't even want to see it on the screen. It's so awful. There you go, Joe.
Yeah. It's hard. It's backwards. So there we go. There it's on. That is on.
Leave it on for this one. Cameron Gale. Anthony Lynn is as bad as Adam Gase. Now, the Chargers, they've let a few get away from them. Did you see the numbers going back to the start of 2019 of what the Chargers are in one-score games?
No, what is it?
My producer's going to pull it up. By the way, we actually may be in line to actually get a real producer, Joe.
Yeah, I gave my motion to support for that. So
yes, well, I'm texting our producer to be. The Chargers, since the start of 2019 are 3-15 in one-score football games.
It's not good. What, since the start of when?
2019.
Not great. Adam Gase has more double-digit losses than he does wins.
Right, and that's why it's a bad take, right? Because, like, Adam's horrible.
This is too respectful for Adam Gase.
Anthony is not trending in the right direction. I believe he was 21-11 in his first 2 seasons as the head coach of the Chargers, and they won a playoff game. It's been a rough 2 years, year and a half, but Anthony at least has a really good culture within his locker room.
I agree. I
think he's a very competent head coach. I think they need to learn how to win games with this new young group. They've had some bad luck with injuries. Adam just burns the whole thing to the ground. Takes gasoline and pours it on the dumpster fire.
Shout out to Paige for reminding me of what those are called, the pickled sport peppers. Those things are wonderful.
Oh, yes.
They need to be on more things that I eat.
How about Jack Touchdown?
Okay. Cam Newton will not start a game next season, not necessarily his whole career, but not next year. No. So Cam Newton will not start a game next year.
In 2021.
2021.
With the way the Patriots offense has trended since the end of September. Not a bad take.
Think about it. So he's going back to the free agent market. I don't see a path to him being back with New England. So someone's going to have to
not
bring
unless
him
they
in.
Flip a switch, right? Like they're going to have to really aggressively flip a switch.
Sure. But I don't think that will happen. I think he'll be about what he's been. So this dude couldn't find work until midsummer, and he's been bad. I mean, these are the type of quarterbacks that find ways to play games somehow. You know, they just these backups. Somebody will sign him to be a backup. He'll be on somebody's team. So you're relying on that quarterback to get hurt because I don't think he's going to win a job.
Not with his level of play over the past month or 6 weeks.
If we think that Cam Newton's a backup quarterback next year, I think it would be unlikely that he starts a game. You're relying on circumstances to get him on the field, and therefore I think it's a reasonable take.
Very different pathways, but you think about what happened with Jameis in Tampa Bay, right? Where things got really bad there at the end for Jameis in Tampa. And he signs cheap deal in New Orleans, trying to rehab his perception with a single coaching staff. I think that would be an advisable type of approach for Cam if he finishes playing the season at the same level of play of what he's played to this point. And hope you can get somebody to buy in and then hope for a quarterback transition. I see 2 more we need to get.
Let's do it.
Including this one from Caleb. Caleb says Andre Sisco is the best safety eligible in the 2021 NFL draft.
Oh, yeah, I don't support that. I don't support that at all. I think Sisco, to his credit, he does the most important thing that a safety can do, and that's take away the football. The ball skills are evidence in the production. You know, I don't think stats always tell the story they do when it comes to ball skills in Andre Sisco. I think the rest of his game is really underdeveloped.
Is there a more... Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Sure. No problem. I'm good.
You're good? I was going to ask you if there's a more disproportionately coveted trait than ball skills in a free safety. Is it bend and edge rushers? Like everybody puts it on this pedestal, right? And then you look at like what actually works for the vast majority of teams. And that's not to say if you don't have an elite free safety with elite ball skills, but like look at Malik Hooker, right? Malik Hooker was all that in a bag of chips in the NFL draft when he came out. I mean, we knew he was a bad tackler. We knew he didn't fill against the run, but he was an elite center field free safety. He ain't going to stick with the Colts.
No, they didn't pick up his option. I mean, think about Gerard Holloman. How many interceptions did that dude have?
He had like 14 in 1 year.
Stupid amounts. What about Hamp Cheevers? You know, he wasn't a safety. He was a corner for Boston College. He led the nation in interceptions. He couldn't play. If you watch his tape, he couldn't play.
He's tiny.
Here's the thing about Sisco, right? this is what makes him hard for me to be dismissive of, because I recognize the ball skills, I recognize the size, and I recognize the athleticism, and I recognize the willingness to be physical. I just don't know
enough to buy in there.
Oh, there certainly is. I just would take him on day 2, and that's not. There's just enough.
Would you take any safety in year 1 right now, or in day 1?
No.
Would you take any? So depending on the system that you're running, maybe.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't see Paris Ford is probably my favorite safety, but I think they bring different things to the table.
Very different things. You'd have to combine them both together to get one complete safety.
Yeah. Some people might think that Cisco is, but I don't. I think it's a projection, and I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with you being comfortable doing that. I'm not. Like he's not for me. It's safety 1.
One of my favorite scouting additives. He's not for me. Brian thinks Takes on Takes should be a solid hour. I don't disagree. We had a lot of fun on the show.
We do have a lot of fun, yeah.
This was not the take we needed to address. It was this one from Jahoni back again with some more sauce.
Why do
the Rams?
It's just Johnny Teixeira.
No, anytime I see the double N, Johnnny, it's Jahoni.
What?
Yeah, it's a.
I don't get it.
It's a growing up in my neck of the woods kind of thing.
Oh, all right.
The Rams and Bears. Paige, cover your eyes and your ears.
Yeah, please.
The Rams and Bears are the 2 biggest frauds in the NFL.
The Rams aren't frauds. I like the Rams. I do. So I don't. If you're looking
you didn't mention the Bears though.
Oh yeah. So who are you nervous? If you had to play the Bears this week, would you be like, oh man, I don't know how we're going to win this game? Don't need to see the course to a win here. No, of course not. Okay, so we got to come up with the 2 biggest frauds.
Correct.
Let's do it. Bears are 1. We agree with that?
They're 5-4. Are we only counting players with winning records or teams with winning records?
Yeah, you've got to be a team with a winning record to qualify.
Okay. My producer, aka me.
Man, I want to say the Saints, but good night what they did yesterday.
Yeah, they smacked around Tampa real bad. Okay, so teams with winning records right now in the NFL. Buffalo, Miami, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Kansas City, Vegas Raiders, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, Saints, Bucks, Packers, Bears. That's it. Did I say Cardinals? Because if I didn't, I did not mean to forget that.
You don't think it's the Cardinals?
No, I don't. Might be the Raiders. The defense is trash.
Yeah, I mean, it is trash, and they're 5-3 with a negative 11 point differential.
So Bears and Raiders?
Yeah, what's scary? I mean, so the Raiders, their defense is terrible. There's not one thing that makes you nervous playing against the Raiders defense. Not a single thing.
Correct. And they spent a bunch of money on it.
Offensively, they have Jacobs, a good player. Waller's a good player.
They're pretty explosive on offense.
Right, and Derek Carr's been willing to open it up a little bit over the last few weeks.
But at the same time, you watch like what New England did. New England doubled the checkdowns and left the 20-plus routes one-on-one, and Derek didn't throw them.
Let's just say, Kyle, great job by us pissing off 2 of the 5 biggest fan bases in the NFL as we sign off for the Takes on Takes. Excellent work by us there. I think it's the Raiders. I mean, if we're thinking winning records
that are misleading.
Do you want to? So Cleveland, they're minus 31 in point differential.
They're really weird. I don't know.
Are you nervous? They got like Myles Garrett.
They got a more well-rounded roster.
They lost to the Raiders. The team that we just said was the frauds, the Raiders beat Cleveland.
But it was like 16-6 in the wind and rain and the ultimate neutralizer. How else do you think the Raiders were going to allow a team to score 6 points?
It's true. 38-7 to Steelers, 38-6 to the Ravens.
That's what scares me about Cleveland, right? Because you got to play both those teams again.
Beat the Colts, man. It was a good win.
I'm so proud that Miami's not included in this list.
Let's talk about Miami in this list.
Yeah.
I think getting wins over the Rams and Cardinals over the last 2 weeks, with seeing what the defense looks like healthy with Tua and this, I mean, let's face it, I think he's given the offense a spark. He's doing some different things than Fitz can do. I think that makes it easier.
If the Dolphins started Fitz against Arizona, they don't win that game.
Well, here's what I mean. Here, I think there was a case for Miami after they got to 3-3, right?
Yes, because you beat down on a very injured San Francisco team, and you shellacked the Jets and beat Jacksonville, and those were your 3 wins.
So the fact that maybe if this question was asked 3 weeks ago, we might say Miami, they're 3-3, but to win those 2 games takes them off the list.
Yeah, to see what they did to the Rams offense and to see Tua come to life against the Cardinals in a shootout certainly changes the perception of the team. I'm sticking with Raiders and Bears.
I'd rather play if I had to win a game, I'd rather play the Raiders and the Browns. So I'll agree with you, Raiders and Bears.
There you go. Lock it in. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino, Draft Dudes pregame, Monday Night Football. We got Jets and Patriots tonight. Pour yourself a beverage if you need to. We're gonna get through it.
Hey, go Jets, baby.
Go Jets. Jets, Jets. Only time you'll ever hear me say it.
Right.
But at the same time, there's no such thing, especially in the year 2020, in which we did not know how much football we were going to get.
Right.
There's no such thing as a bad football game to watch on television.
Right.
Hope you guys enjoy the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks for tuning in live if you did. If you did not, shame on you. Come back Thursday night. We're back again live. YouTube, 7:30 p.m. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino. Thanks, as always, for listening/watching the Draft Dudes podcast.